You already know photographs won't be enough. You already know there are stories that your family hasn't heard, stories that explain everything about where they came from and who they are. And you already know that the window to change that isn't going to stay open forever. And you've known for a while. The only question is whether you will act while you still can. I know this because I lived it. I grew up feeling like my family was shaped by experiences I didn't fully understand. For years, I wanted to know where my father's discipline and temperament came from, or how my mother had maintained such joy after a childhood of real hardship far from home. The answers were held by my grandparents. My grandfather could have traced those stories for me, but he died when I was 13. And with him went all of the answers that I'm still missing today. Years later, my brother and I tried to interview our grandmother in Kenya. We had a camera, we had a microphone, and we made the trip, but we waited too long. Her health had declined. There was no process or rhythm or real way for us to draw out the meaning behind her life. She passed away months later. What stayed with me wasn't just the loss. I mean, we had cared, we had owned a camera, and we'd made the trip. We were in the room with her, and caring still wasn't enough. Because caring without a process leaves you sitting with someone you love, watching the opportunity slip away. So after about 8 years behind the camera, I had one moment that changed everything for me. I was working with a local business owner, and we prepared a script. But every time we read the script, he would freeze up. And finally, he looked at me and he said, "When I talk to you, it comes out. But when I try and read it from the script, I can't do it, I freeze up." So I put the script away and we just talked. And everything that he needed was there. The stories and the lessons and the weight of a life that was actually lived. In the years that followed, I rebuilt my entire process around that idea and proved that it worked with dozens of people. Sitting across from him that day, I thought about my grandmother. This is exactly what we had needed. I couldn't go back in time, but with my experience, I knew that I could build something so other families wouldn't face what I faced. And that's exactly why I founded Story and Legacy Films. Through our guided legacy preservation process, we come to you, your home, or a place that matters, with our professional cameras and audio. And then we have a conversation. We don't have you prepare a speech, and you aren't expected to read from a teleprompter or put on any kind of performance. My job is to carry the weight of our conversation and draw out not just what happened in your life, but what it meant. One of the most meaningful moments doing this was working with a woman named Tina. She wasn't sure she knew how to put her life into words, so we started small. In fact, we actually started with a beach in California where I knew that she grew up.
I was about 7 when we left California, so I've always felt at home, near the water, especially the ocean.
That memory opened a door for her that at first she didn't seem to know was there, and by the end, she wasn't just leaving her family a video, she was leaving them a way to understand her humor and her grit and the love that she had for the family long after she was gone. A will can pass down your possessions and a trust can pass down your assets, but only you can pass down your story. I've watched families see these films for the first time, and I've seen something shift in those rooms. Not just emotionally, but their understanding. So back then, I couldn't give that gift to my own family, but I can help give it to yours. If you've been thinking about this, then reach out and schedule a story readiness call. It's just a conversation, and there's no pressure or obligation, but the window to tell your story in your own voice while you still have it is open right now. So don't let your family inherit silence. Reach out today.